Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a spark plug change on an E70. This is an X5 3.0 SI with the N52 engine. And the first thing I wanted to address before we get into the procedure is the fact that you do not want to grease or put any kind of copper paste on the threads for the plugs when you do them. This is specifically indicated in the BMW TSI information, and I'll pull that up here just so you can see that any videos out there that you see where people are greasing these plugs, it's not the proper procedure. So you can see here under the important information, item 2, do not grease, oil, thread, or use any graphite or copper grease. Adhere to the torque values of the packaging information or regulation. Note, if these instructions are not followed, especially with regard to greasing, this may result in mechanical damage to the spark plug housing or thread.
So let's get started. First thing you got to do is get the air filter out of the way, and there's usually two plugs here that need released by pulling the center. Now we need to release the air box. So after releasing the clamp, you can pull this tube from the attachment right here, and then there's a plug in the back that just pulls out. And you should just pull straight up. Now for the cover, these are hex 5s. Also need to remove the oil fill.
Here I'm working on the first connector. These can deform over time such that the edges won't catch the plug properly, so if you pinch it here on the side, as you lift, push in, and it'll free the plug.
Just pull straight up, comes out. Good idea to blow this out with any kind of air before removing the plug. You can see there's dirt down in there.
If you don't have an air compressor in your garage, one of those cans of compressed air for electronics works just fine.
Now I put a piece of tape on my spark plug socket. Should be long enough. If not, I'll put a longer socket on there. There we go. Once it cracks, you can just kind of do it by hand. You can see my plug's definitely ready to be changed. I'm just checking the numbering here. PLZ FR 6A 11S. So that is correct. So this one's going back in. So these plugs get torqued to 30 Newton meters. Alright, coil pack going back in now. Just verify that none of the rubber folds up on itself and that you get a good tight connection. Okay, put the plug back in.
If you're like me, you are using a 6-inch extension to your spark plug socket for plugs 1 through 5. Well, that's not going to work for plug 6. You're going to need something shorter, and just a 3-inch extension with the spark plug socket's not going to be enough. So what I found the key is using a 1-inch, the 3-inch, to give you about a 4-inch extension, and that's going to work out the best to just clear the obstructions that are in the way for doing plug 6. Just make sure you tape it really well. I find ripping duct tape in half and just using long strips to diagonally move up the 1 and the 3-inch extensions and securing them to the spark plug socket is best.
Let's see, we may have to disconnect this harness here. Looks like just push down. That'll give us a little bit of room. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. Let's see if we can't push it back. There we go. Okay, that one was a bear, but the key is to just make a nice extension. I ended up not using the swivel, so this is just a 3-inch, and then I had a little 1-inch because I needed really 4. 6 was too big, 3 was too short, so somewhere between 4 and 5 is what your extension needs to be. So I've already torqued that one down, so it's time to put the coil pack back in. All right, there we go. Should be all good.